Well guys, I'm back and I'll tell you what, it feels great. I've got lots to cover, so let's get into it. First of all, so sorry that I haven't been around for the last couple of weeks. You might have noticed everything on the channel has been pretty quiet. I even missed one of the newsletter videos a few weeks back, and the truth behind it is I went and got myself a bad dose of COVID. I kind of thought that COVID was a thing of the past. When you saw the 2 lines and people were showing it online, I just thought that meant you felt a bit poorly, like you had a cold. If you haven't had it yet, count yourself lucky, because I'm here to tell you it is nasty, proper nasty. I lost about, I lost 2 things, about 4 kilos in weight and also my voice. I didn't have a voice for about 3 or 4 days. My throat was so sore, I couldn't swallow, thus I lost all the weight, but that's all back then. This is now. The good news is I'm back and I've been having a lot of thoughts about what I want to do with the channel. So I've been making videos on YouTube now for around about a year. I think I started the back end of September in 2021. And my master plan was, how easy was it going to be? I just swan onto YouTube, get my 1,000 subs, get 4,000 view hours, I'm off to the races. I thought it was going to be that simple. Turns out, it really wasn't. So as it turns out, YouTube is actually quite tough. And one of the biggest problems I had was being natural in front of the camera, letting my character and personality come through and just telling a story and bringing you with me. I think I was probably afraid of just letting myself be in front of the camera, but that's what I'm going to try to do now. And I've realized the sort of videos that I really enjoy watching, apart from tutorials, are the day in the life of, the vlogging style. There's a couple of creators I really enjoy watching, and I thought, well, if I enjoy those, why don't I try making them? So you will have noticed the last couple of videos I made before I got poorly were more that kind of spanning the day with me, doing whatever I'm doing, and that's what I want to do more of. The idea being that whatever I've got around me, generally audio gear or Apple gear, I'm going to make videos showing you what I'm doing with them that day, how they affect my life, how I go about my business with them, and just what I do. And hopefully that might be the kind of video that you're interested in as well. And we're going to start with that idea today. The whole idea behind this video is the ecosystem. We've all heard of the ecosystem. Well, I'm going to show you how it affects me and why I'm so hooked on it. Why has Apple got me so reeled into their walled garden? It started years ago with my first iPhone, and since then I think I've got everything bar an Apple Watch. And that's probably going to change when the Apple Watch 8's released in a few weeks' time. So they've got me hook, line and sinker. I thought it might be interesting to see from the moment when I wake up to the moment I fall asleep, how Apple and the products and the ecosystem and this walled fence they put around me plays into each and every day of my life.
It all kicks off around 7 AM when I grab the MacBook Air and catch up on the overnight emails, Twitter and that kind of thing. It depends. Sometimes the day starts with the MacBook Air and other days with the iPhone. After those first few moments of catching up, it's then out of bed, on with the trainers and get ready for some AM cardio. I grab my AirPods Pro and iPhone and head out the door when it's 40 minutes of just doing my thing in the lovely summer sunshine. Almost certainly when I'm out, I'll be listening to tech podcasts. And when I get back, I'll use Handoff to carry on listening on my HomePod Mini, which I've now got as a stereo pair as I get showered and ready to head out for the day. In the car, heading to the new studio office space, I'll carry on listening to podcasts, this time with CarPlay. Once at the office, that's where the day starts proper, and the first thing I do is write the day's blog. I write 4 times a week at the moment. I start off writing in Ulysses, which is a brilliant Apple-only writing app, and from there it's then first published onto my website, talkingtechandaudio.com, and from there over to Medium. These days I generally write on the MacBook Air. It's just so comfortable to use and more than powerful enough for most of the daily tasks and even like content creation as well. Since I moved into this new office studio space, I pretty much have transitioned to shooting all of the A-roll here. There's just so much more space and different locations I can use. I shoot a lot of the B-roll here as well. At the office, as you can see, I'm surrounded by Apple kit. I still have my beloved 27-inch iMac, which is now kind of an audio station, really. I have a Scarlett 2i2 interface hooked up to it with a pair of powered neutral studio monitors. They're the same monitors that I've got back in the studio at home, so I know I can trust and rely on them when I edit. The headphones I use varies, but at present I have a pair of my original Beyerdynamic 770 Pros. I still love the sound profile of these after all these years. They were the first Beyers that I bought, and they still sound gorgeous. Sometimes I will start to piece together videos here at the office, but generally most of my editing takes place in the evening back at home. I need to get home at a reasonable hour because I've got my lovely little studio cat, Alice. 18 years I've had her, and she sits me every night while I'm editing. Find and book guests for my Minus 16 podcast does take time, but I love interviewing, so it's well worth it in the end. I'll normally send a message via DM on Twitter or send some emails to the various creators I've got in mind. I now record video and audio podcasts, and the app that I use for the video podcast is called Ecamm. I learned about it from Sam Cole when he was on with me. The guys use it for the Genius Bar podcast. If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. I'll try to book up guests around about a month in advance. Here at home, I always work on the MacBook Pro, which is connected to the studio display. I try to edit videos and podcasts here before finishing for the day. I got my first HomePod Mini for Christmas last year. It took me a while to figure out the best way to use it, but then it came to me. I bought another recently and made a stereo pair of them. They're now connected to my Apple 4K TV. I know the Minis lack a little bit in the low end, but overall they offer a really easy listening experience. And as for Apple TV 4K and the content Apple are creating at the moment, just amazing. One of my current binge watches of the week is 5 Days of Memorial. If you haven't watched it, check it out. And that's pretty much the day done. And in a few hours' time, it starts all over again.
So there you go, guys. That is a day in the life with me and all of my Apple products. Now, first of all, put me out of my misery and tell me I'm not alone. Tell me that you too have got a similar kind of addiction. I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you probably like your Apple products. I just want to know I'm not alone in this problem. Is it a problem though? I like what they make. I like what they do for me, but I just didn't realize quite how much they honestly affected my life. I really didn't until I made this video, until I catalogued morning till night what I do with all of my various Apple products through the day. I didn't know how much they were penetrating everything I do, whether it's listening to podcasts in the car, editing videos here for YouTube in the studio, or whether it's just at home using Handoff and the HomePod Minis or watching Apple TV. They are with me throughout the day. It's quite a revelation to make. But as I say, get involved, let me know, how does Apple and all of their products affect you? It'd be great to hear from you. If you haven't got subs yet, now would be a great time to do it. I can't tell you what a difference it makes. It really would help, particularly I'm going down this journey now, trying to make everything just new, fresh and exciting. And if you've enjoyed this video, there are two things to do. First of all, drop a like, again, that really helps me out. And also, hang around for just a few minutes longer because now there's a video coming up telling you why I think the M2 MacBook Air is such a great laptop. I'll see you very soon.